FOF Season 2, or sorry. Oh no, I messed it up. No, I had a bad joke. I gotta leave it in the past. But I think TDE is gonna have to leave their last game in the past as well. Dropped quite a large early game lead to SLR. My name is Escape, and I'm joined by Utility Monster. Please don't bully me for that.
It's okay. We'll pretend like it didn't happen. And we get back into game 2, where we have the same bands coming out so far. Slightly different order, but we still have the Swain and the Seraphine taken away from Pure Llama. Those are two champions that I think you never want to give them, especially the Seraphine. I was looking up before the series, just notable picks of various players. And Pure Llama has the highest KDA of anyone in the league on a single champion on Seraphine with a 48 KDA over 2 games.
Yeah, no, he's been able to do that as well, like cross Mythic and Heroic. He's been able to just use Seraphine very effectively, and I know for a fact really does not like playing the champion. Like, easily his least favorite pick, but he's able to dominate on it. There's some power in Seraphine if nobody noticed recently. Also,
sometimes the champions that you don't like playing are the ones you're good at, and you're bullied onto them by your team.
Yeah, no, it's heartbreaking when that happens, isn't it?
And the Maokai is a new ban. So last game that was Volibear, which is the flex between Fang over Fang and Anti, and they decided the Maokai was too disruptive to their backline. And I actually like that ban. I think that it's hard to call it out in the play-by-play because Maokai is not making the big play, but Maokai was actually a huge reason that the Ashe and the Azir were having so much trouble doing damage in those mid-game fights that let SLR get back in the game and eventually catapult themselves ahead. So I like taking it away. If you don't have an answer for it, just take it away from the game. And we also see the Jinx first pick. So that's another takeaway.
Yeah. No, I think Fang Frank did a really good job of just kidnapping people, just get in there, box them into the rest of my team. And the Volibear was picked up almost instantly right there, presumably for Anti in the top lane, but could be also flexed to Fang over Fang. We've seen that before, but that Twitch, we know where that one's going, right into Luru's hands. That is one of his favorites.
Yeah, and this Twitch pick in particular, I've prepared to play Luru on multiple rosters, SLR, and then last season on BBZ. And this Twitch pick gives me nightmares because it is so good into so many AD carries, and it makes blinding AD carries so restrictive. We had a list of Jeff's AD carries, and it was to 8 AD carries he can play, and only 2 of them are allowed to be blinded because of Twitch. So I think this is a good matchup for Twitch. It's playable, like you can play around the Twitch, but not something that I personally would want to be playing into. And we do see the Sejuani Viego lock in. So Jaffe going to be taking the Sejuani top lane and leaves and they get the Viego jungle. Reset Man.
Could be Bob Joseph, and I think that'll could see a Sedge bot lane. It is gonna be that Yuumi picked up right there for the Twitch there, going to Tef in that bot lane. Honestly, I think that a lot of Twitch Yuumi is going to come down to that support role. I think in the early stages especially. Now, as they come into the later stages, if they're both dead even, it could really depend on team fighting, but these are both really strong scaling champions. They both have the ability to completely wipe a team fight. Jinx through just being insanely mobile and being able to rip a team fight open off of one kill. Meanwhile, Twitch just does that with piercing shots. He's just going straight through the center of everything anyway. So these teams really would be on more of a timer if these weren't the 280 carry pickups, but they're both going to scale into the late game very, very well. So we'll see whether or not the AoE or the extra BF sword plus a bit that Twitch gets is going to be the deciding factor if we get to that late stage. But I think for Leaves going on to this Viego, it's a very different style than that Nunu. Obviously, still going to be able to create those early ganks, but we've seen him play it really, really well before. We've seen Viego be so popular at International lately. That champion's just crazy.
It gives him a lot more teamfight agency, and it felt like the Nunu, he got things going early, and then the teamfights came, and he just rolls Snowball into the team and tanks the damage and dies. And so I think I like this adaptation of giving Leaves more buttons to press and more control over the game. 2 more mid lane bans thrown at Pure Llama. The Cinder does replace the Victor this time, so they learned from their mistake last second phase. And we also have the Blitzcrank ban, which I really like against Yuumi because if you pull the Yuumi target, it's a 2-for-1 special.
Yeah, it's you get your bonus goodie bag with every hook, but there's going to be no hooks coming through this game. And Bob Joseph loves that champion. That is a big pickup for him. He's a big fan of it. It looks like it's going to be the Anivia there.
That surprises me.
That is kind of not what this team is doing at the moment. If you ask me.
I don't hate the pick.
Yeah.
It stalls time for Twitch to scale, and Anivia also scales fine. I just would have expected you to save mid for last pick. That's not going to be Victor. Zenzen does not play Victor. It's a giant meme.
Is it?
It's
Is
not
it?
Victor, right?
Is it? Is oh Yone? No. Okay, it's
Okay.
gonna be Ziggs. Okay, so kind of matching that mid lane, just going clear for clear.
Yeah. I don't mind that. The Velcro is taken away as that's a Anivia counter pick, so Ziggs next up. Would have been cool if he had a pocket Xerath, but unfortunately not going to be the case. But yeah, the Anivia stalls time, but it's weird to me that they picked it there because you could have saved it for last pick because you already see the top and jungle. I guess they maybe think it's Bob Joseph Sejuani, but
Looks like it's gonna be Thresh.
Jaffe played the Sejuani last year, so I guess I would assume it's there, and we do see the Thresh come in, so it will be Sejuani top. I guess they were worried about what you were saying, the Bob Joseph Sejuani, and they wanted to guarantee their matchup, but I would have waited to get a counter pick mid as well. But
Yeah,
nope, they'll get to choose here whether it's going to be Volibear top or mid, and it will be Volibear top, Jarvan jungle, Fang over Fang taking the easier to execute champion.
yeah, and notably, like, this is a comp that really wants to go in again. SLR wants to be, you know, early. They want to be creating team fight opportunities for themselves, playing to their engages. They have a bit more early game presence with the Volibear and the Jarvan now. And then they have an Anivia stuck onto the team, which, again, like, Anivia as a pick is relatively strong, and I think being able to match Ziggs is really important because Ziggs will tear through your turrets if you don't have somebody to clear. But the Anivia feels a little bit out of place on this composition, but I think it's mainly just going to be doing the job of not letting the Thresh get towards that Twitch, letting the Twitch free fire, and creating a really solid line between the front and back.
Yeah, and it does feel like a pure Llama champion. Pure Llama, not a lane dominant player. Not that he's bad in lane. He's actually really good in lane, but he's good in lane in the sense that he won't miss farm and he'll make you recall. Not in the sense that he's going to solo kill you 5 times. So a really classic champion in that sense. He'll farm better than you. He'll push you out of lane. He'll have prio. He'll scale into the mid game and team fight really well from the back line. So I like the pick stylistically. But yeah, you are right. Sort of, we have these two run at you bruisers. We have the Twitch that can follow him up with Yumi, and then we have this random Anivia stuck there. So could be a little bit weird. So look like we have an invade level
Okay.
1.
Yeah, splitting 3 off to this top side could be a little bit interesting right now. And Zenzen yet to show up to see this type of play. So we do see the Jarvan move in. And I like this as a potential to try and bait counter vision. And I think it's going to work right now. Zenzen's going to try and walk up to this red buff. Now, they only saw 2. This is so greedy. Great check there from Zenzen, but he doesn't respect that the bomb hit. There's 3 people in that bush. Jaffe's here to defend. No summoner spells getting burnt just yet. Zenzen will tick to the poison. And down goes the Ziggs.
Yeah, that's a classic move there from SLR. Uh-oh, we have a disconnect there from Tef. Classic move for SLR. They actually did that against Yubi in the first time we played them this season, and it's a really clever move because the standard against an invade in one side is to push counter vision in the other half. And so if you make it look like you're more committed to an initial push for vision than you are, and you stack to counter the counter effectively, it's a really smart adaptation that takes advantage of people who are on autopilot and are just like, oh, there's no one here because they're bottom side, let's go word red.
Yeah.
And Zenzen falls prey to that. He does check it, as you said, but I don't think he was checking it in the sense that he really thought someone would be there because it hit and he kept walking.
Yeah, and didn't want to pop that flash to get out of there, and that is 1 kill going over Luru. We talked about Luru loves this Twitch, and paired with a Yumi, it's going to let him do stuff on this map by just get around, be in places you're not expecting him to be, blow up a target, get out of there. And giving him the 1 kill advantage in that bot lane could really start to expedite that process. We could see Luru making moves onto the map really, really early because of that. And if bot lane doesn't go the same way as it did last game, this Twitch would be very hard to shut down.
That's true. Yumi is a little bit weak in lane though, so even with the kill, unless there's a really crazy just fight to the death and the extra longsword makes the difference, I would expect the Yumi to be weak enough that the Bob Joseph on the Thresh is able to keep the lane even for a while. But yeah, definitely gives Twitch a lot of wiggle room moving forward to hit mid game and be strong. And we're back into game. Let's go.
All right, so the resets are going to come through. Going to try and spend that gold, obviously, as they got it. We're going to have a little bit of replay issues, so we're going to see this one maybe once or twice. And we'll see where these junglers really want to go to. Obviously, I think that we're going to see... It looks like Lee's is going to pass down towards his bot lane, opposed to, I imagine, Fang's going to be making his way up. And we'll have to see as that one rolls through. We're gonna have to see if the replay is gonna let us watch it a couple of times here. Sometimes Riot doesn't fix their game for months on end.
Spectator client is not a high priority for the developers, but yeah, it looks like it's going to be opposite direction clears. And I think this might be actually a reaction to what happened last game where SLR did the cheese and bot lane bush. And I wonder if TDE is thinking that they don't want to get behind off of that and they want to be able to contest early fights or pushes. So wouldn't be surprised if that's part of the reason. And we see Twitch and Yumi are actually not even leashing. Or I believe, I think Twitch just recalled for an item, so Yumi
Yeah.
gave a couple autos and that's it. So now the jungler are really getting a huge leash here.
Yeah, I know, and both Anti and Luver are gonna back off in the early stages. They're not give away where Fang over Fang is starting, and try to hide the position here. Obviously, they do have that ward on the red buff, so they should know that Leaves is at least starting towards that top side, and give some warning to Luru and Tef to just play safe for those early stages. But there is no counter vision, like you said. They got that denied, and they didn't do anything about the Jarvan while he was there. So it's very difficult as TDE to feel comfortable for these first few minutes.
Yeah. On the flip side, they are relatively safe. Ziggs, once he hits level 3, can rocket pack himself away. Sejuani can Q away and took Flash, not Ignite, so even more safety on this particular Sejuani. And then it's really hard to gank a Thresh Lantern. So, and oh, they're pushing Vision bot lane actually, so they know where he started.
Okay, yeah. So they are going to know. They're going to pick up where Fang over Fang is going to be. And there's room for that Jarvan to go for a really aggressive clear here. And I think, yeah, he's just going to skip those Raptors and look to go mid lane, I'd imagine. He is going to get caught on that ward. Immediate reaction from Zenzen. Going to sit on the bottom side of that lane. And that's just good play there from TDE to get the jump on that. And that's going to shut down any early aggression that we normally see from a Jarvan.
Yep, and that's just a small tempo lead for this Viego, who doesn't have the same early pressure and wants to farm up a little bit, get an item or so. So nice that he's going to be able to full clear here and not have his lanes punished for it.
Wave is going to push back towards the spot side. Surprisingly, with this more oriented, this composition more oriented towards the early game, it looks like we're going to be a little bit more relaxed in these early stages right now. As Anti making some aggressive plays under that turret. He is known to get acquainted with that top lane turret on occasion. Anti, they've definitely been on the receiving end of a few tower shots at this point in the game.
Yeah, Anti is definitely not one who's scared of taking the big ball of death early. So would not be surprised to see an attempted 1-for-1 into the tower come through at some point from him. But until we get there, it's just going to be farming everywhere. No real things to talk about yet. Jarvan's a little bit slower on the clear because of trying to gank mid, but other than that, just farming.
So I think as a slower paced game, I think that TDE decided, you were talking about in the previous game, like how do you adapt yourself to this type of game state? Very close trade in the top lane. Fang over Fang's going to look for some way to find a kill there. And he might be able to. Jeffy might look for that recall. But you talked about how it's important to figure out if you want to change your draft or your mentality, because those two did not sync up for TDE in the last game. And it looks like they have gone, all right, we played too aggressive for what we wanted. We're going to slow our pace down. We're going to really stick with the scaling composition. We're going to play for the later stages. And so far, they're doing that very well. Obviously, only 5 minutes in, but in the previous game, this was a long time to go without a kill.
That could be true, but actually the part where they were playing aggressive last game was the...
There we go. Tower shot for Anti.
Was the mid game. The early game, they actually got a huge lead, so
Yeah.
you know I wouldn't mind them playing a little bit aggressively and trying to get that kind of lead and then slow it down after. But as you say, they have no issue scaling in this game either and doing nothing. Jaffe's just going to ward Steve Fang over Fang, and that's really big, actually, finding out where he is.
Yeah, because in that time, Leaves was able to get a recall off and then proceed to the next clear. Fang over Fang is now so far behind on this tempo, going to have to take this recall really, really late. And Leaves is just going to find another advantage. That top crab is still there. If that gets found, that's going to be really unfortunate there for Fang.
Unlikely he goes for top crab, probably because A, he assumes it's dead, and B, actually the time it takes to do top crab is almost not worth it compared to doing your respawn bot half. Respawn Krugs are worth so much, and you want to cycle those as fast as possible.
That is a jungle fact that I was not aware of. 80 carry player, I just see the Krugs there and ask.
No, level one Krugs got super nerfed because 80 carries like you kept stealing it.
Yep.
So it's all in the second respawn of Krugs, and that's the big thing for if you're a farming jungler is you want the second spawn of Krugs and all the ones after that, of course. But That's when you start getting the big gold and the big XP advantage if your opponent is skipping them.
You can talk to any of my past junglers about whether or not I take camps, and you might get varying results. I'd be actually interested to see what my review rate is there. But looks like Leaves is going to try and look for a play on this bot side. Luru and Tef has this set up very, very well. Great Flash Lantern to try and get Leaves in. It's the Flash burnt out. The Cleanse also being burned there. Bob Joseph looking great on this Thresh right now, but Leafs has walked directly into Fang over Fang, is not respecting the potential for the re-engage, doesn't use the flash to dodge the flagging strike, but he's going to get out of there. TP is now coming in from Zen. Great hook onto Tef! Bob Joseph making this Thresh look easy, and that is 2 kills picked up, trying to play their Ultravox. And now gonna find that play onto Pure Llama. Is there another hook available? No. It is a 4v4. Does this take you back a couple of seasons? Bot lane is bringing the action.
That was so well played the entire time from Bob Joseph, just single-handedly turning that play into a win for TDE. No one else really played it poorly, but Bob Joseph didn't miss an ability and hit everything at exactly the right time.
Yeah, it's wow. Like finding that hook onto the Yuumi is so big. Great setup for Leaves to get in there, and there's no real death there. Obviously the Ziggs goes down, but I think that was from earlier.
Yeah, the Ziggs was level 1.
Yeah, it was just the early play. I was trying to remember when that happened, but yeah, no, it's great play for TDE. Get their momentum going again, and that's really important if this team can play with that. And you know, we'll see whether or not they've really identified what went wrong in the previous game. But if they can play with that lead, I think they could really be in a good chance to bring this series back to tied. But obviously, it's going to have to come down to some dragons first, as Fang is going to try and get that one started.
And he will back off, realizing that it's a little bit scary, a little bit dark on the map. And then nice presence of mind actually by both mid laners to teleport down. Pure Llama almost killing Ultravox and stopping the play from going on, and Zen with the ult snipe onto Fang over Fang to get the second kill. So really heads up that both are willing to make plays for the team and use even the teleport that can't go as far as you'd like it to. Just teleport to your own tower and help out your bot lane.
Goodness, look at how well Jaffe was just like, it's small stuff like that. I don't, you know, like, it's only things, once you play this game for a while, you start to appreciate little things like that. It's just how well Jaffe was tethering the range there for so long and just trying to bait Anti to come a little bit further into the whip, get a little closer to my turret. Let me take this trade in a nice way. And just really, really high activity right there. Zen gonna use that satchel charge. Actually does get stunned up. Great play there from Pure Llama. Gonna make that Ziggs very uncomfortable in the mid lane, and Fang might be smelling blood right now. Oh.
Yeah, it's a lot of damage onto the Ziggs. Should be able to clear out the wave and get a reset, but because the teleport was used bot lane, oh, it's just gonna have to blow the flash.
As well, yeah.
Zen's greeting this because he used the teleport bot lane, so he doesn't want to have to reset and lose a wave.
Anti has the flash available, uses the ult, and is then going to flash. Great way to turn there. Leafs is already committed. Kill comes through onto the volley bear. Leafs has the ability to pick up that Q stun, gets cataclysmed onto the turret, has the Heartbreaker to try and get out of there. Right now, Jaffe doesn't have the HP to get himself out alive necessarily. Fang over Fang is going to find that flag and drag. Leaves, doesn't get the E range that he wanted, but is going to be able to get out of there. Just a 1-for-1 for the top laners. And now a hook set up for Bob Joseph. Down goes the Twitch. And there might be a trade kill back there for Ultravox. Going to try to toss the ulti. And it is enough damage barely to take down the Yuumi. We are not done though. Pure Llama solo kill in the mid lane.
Yeah, just action everywhere. I want to see what happens mid. Zen, no flash from earlier. Takes a nice trade, but just doesn't have the HP to back this up.
Yeah, just didn't look comfy. Put the satchel down in the wrong place. Maybe he was baiting with the ulti, but that's the flash out of the Anivia. So potential for Leafs to try and make play in the next 5 minutes towards that mid lane, but so far Pure Llama making that Anivia pick work in the early game.
Yeah, and a nice timing top lane by Leaf to get the initial gank onto Anti, but then just got really greedy taking the body of the Volibear and trying to turn it around because it was under tower, and so gets ulted, takes a ton of turret damage before ulting out again. And that's really what allows Fang over Fang to get the kill onto Jaffe, because Jaffe is trying to escort Leaves out there. And it will also give over this Herald as a result. So a little bit greedy from Leaves, trying to, you know, take over the body, use some more abilities. It always feels good to use your buttons whenever you can, but sometimes it's just not right to.
Ooh. So Jaffe has burned the dash there to try and make a play, and does dodge the flag and drag right there. Anti's looking for the stun up to turn back. That's a lot of damage coming down from Jaffe, though. Fang over Fang is just going to trade his life here. Now Jaffe's going to try and wait on that Q cooldown to get out of the wall. Knows that Anti doesn't have that ult, doesn't have that flash available, and Anti's going to respect that and just back off.
Yeah, you thought Sejuani's a tank. That's incorrect. Sejuani is a melee bruiser assassin. And
He's like
Fang
it.
over Fang realizes that only too late, getting the full combo
Oh.
there of the Sejuani true damage, percent health max damage, excuse me, from the passive.
I think that the six bomb went over the dragon there. That's always unfortunate. You see that it just bounces by. You just have to not make eye contact with anybody, but that is going to be the dragon picked up. Fang over Fang. Getting caught out in that top lane, obviously did pick up that Herald, but it's a free kill over to Jaffe, who's looked so good so far in this series.
Yeah, Jaffe's been a standout performer for sure, as well as the bot lane, Ultravox and Bob Joseph in the laning phase. And the real weak point has just been the team fighting. So let's see if they can take this lead. They had a similar lead last game, actually bigger one last game, and then got just a little bit too hyphy in the mid game, didn't quite slow it down. This game, they seem a lot more reserved. So if they can take this lead and, you know, slowly move it up rather than going up as fast as possible, maybe they can take a win in game 2.
Yeah, and obviously Jinx, again, has swapped hands. I've noticed this in a lot of our FOF sets lately. There have been ADCs that swap sides. You know, it's all right, well, we don't have an answer to that, so we're going to just play it. And I think maybe it's too early to call, but Jinx looking good right now, and we know what she can do from ahead. Already got that Mythic finished up. It's nowhere close for Twitch right now. Down 30 CS, plus the 2 kills, plus the assist. It's very difficult for Luru to start getting the ball rolling in this game, and it looks like that's what Fang is looking for right now, making his way to the bot lane. Does have that Rift Herald. TP's available for both of the solo laners of TDE, and there's no way to answer that. So we'll see if TDE can make plays for their bot laner again.
It's certainly true that this Twitch is behind, but I think a lot of it actually comes on the support matchup. Yuumi is just not an early game character. Yeah. It scales so well and it's untargetable later in the game, and the weakness is the laning phase, and that's being exploited really well by TDE here. Anti may be in trouble.
Setting up with a stun. Does have that ultimate available. Is going to wait for the volley bear to try and get away. It's great damage layering, great CC layering. And that is going to be a kill picked up on the top side right now. Luru taken down to half. Bob Joseph checking for Fang over Fang. Is going to find him. Ultravox in a really rough position. Did not flash out. Cannot grab the lantern. And it is just a little bit of greed on the summoner cooldowns. Is going to find that kill. Now Bob Joseph is going to be here. I don't know if they can make a TP happen right now. It looks like they're going to just try and trade top for bot right now, but this is good gold to find onto your Twitch.
Yeah. I was going to say that the Yuumi getting punished, but it doesn't matter as much if the Twitch is behind. If the bruisers get ahead and Yuumi can go on them, and we see Fang trying to get himself ahead here.
Yeah, so the Yuumi is tanking right now. Good to tank up the single shot. And the Ziggs ult is there, but it's not going to be enough to answer this right now. It is just a good, solid dive there from SLR, and that is 3 plates going over to their bot laners.
Yeah, and that's a big cross map because Anti is getting absolutely murdered on this exchange.
Yeah, and it's trading back. And you know what? For both of these teams, the bot lane has been the priority. It looks like Ultravox is going to try and play this. I think he actually has the damage to do it. Most certainly has that ultimate available. And he's just going to straight up pick up the kill on a crit Kraken Slayer. Fang over Fang, what are you doing?
Yeah, he got hit with the Jinx sap, so he's on vision, and he immediately EQs the Krugs to do those. I think he just assumes his bot lane's going to be able to back him up, but they can't get there in time. And he's saving the flash for Jinx Rocket, but Jinx doesn't have to throw the rocket. Jinx can just auto-attack you to death, and eventually the damage comes in, and Fang over Fang is in the dirt.
Dodge auto attacks. It is the love of Jason Lee Sin players. Everyone trying to dodge the Q, and no, you can't. And Ultravox is going to benefit from that right now a little bit.
Unfortunately, Jarvan IV cannot enter a defensive stance for 2 seconds.
No. Looks like Pure Llama might be in a bit of a risky spot right now. Bob Joseph is there. Is getting those Moby Boots reset a little bit, though. Has been locked in right now. They know it's 3v2. Great play right there. Burns the flash out of the Anivia right there, and a good stun coming back. Trying to make this play work right now. Leaves, do you know that the egg is there? No. Can't get the reset off of that. Now Bob Joseph is in too far. There's no mana left on Zen. Jinx ulti does come through, but that's not going to be enough to save this one right now. Great play, Bob Joseph! Making this Thresh work, and is now 3v3 low mana on that Ziggs, though. Can Jaffe pick up this kill? No, has to take the Lantern to get away. The flash was burnt out of Zen. Anti being here gets hooked up. Bob Joseph on this Thresh, turning this fight with raw accuracy and precision.
Yeah, Bob Joseph looking really good on this Thresh. But also looked pretty good in the early game. Alistair last game, maybe not quite this good, but was not able to find an impact late in the game. Oh, Ultravox. Twitch is invisible.
Yeah, Twitch is invisible indeed. That is not going to be enough to pick up that kill. And it just sucks. You know, I said it before it happened. Twitch is stealth. There's a Yuumi right there too. There's nothing you can do about it. The flash gets burnt out, and that is a kill going over to Luru, who's starting to snowball this game again.
Yeah, it takes a lot of just constant awareness and discipline to never die to that.
What?
Anti?
Okay, this is really. I don't know if Fang over Fang wins this solo.
He loses. No, he loses.
I think Jaffe's just gonna pick up double buffs and a kill right now. Jaffe, yet to burn the Q, is gonna be able to catch up. Fang over Fang in between Destiny and a turret. Does he get the? No way does he get out of there. Flashpoint picks up. Jaffe, are you kidding me?
Yeah, a little bit greedy from Anti trying to get his jungler out. I think he's got to leave him for dead there, but tries to help him out. Nice play from Fang over Fang. Forces the flash in order for him to die, but it will eventually go down. Will for after the flash, and yeah, that's only a red buff. He's stalled enough for blue buff to wear off. Still, this Sejuani is going to be a problem because it will take so long for it to die, and it will do so much damage because Sejuani, for some reason, does more damage than half of the carries in this game.
Yeah, it could be disgusting, you know, and they've shifted away from this GP style, and still Jaffe is bullying this top lane matchup. We saw Anti get into it in the later stages with that Irelia pickup as Hold On Leaves does not realize the potential for Luru to be there. They're getting chunked out a little bit. The slow's there on a Bob Joseph. Does he have a way to hook himself out of this? Doesn't look like it. Just the disengage coming there from TDE.
Yeah. And seeing the Twitch there is nice. It means that Ultravox gets to push in a little bit of the wave bottom, but yeah, you can see Ultravox having a much harder time in mid game, and this is why the Jinx into Twitch is so rough. It's not the initial lane, it's this mid game where you can't farm because Twitch can come kill you.
Oh, hold on, Pure Llama. It's going to get chunked out so hard that Leandri's tick is going to kill him. Fang over Fang's going to go down as well. Anti trying to make this play work 1v2, wants that kill onto Jaffe, but Jaffe is so comfortable to stand there. A triple kill for Zen Zen, and that is so much gold in the pocket of TDE.
That's a huge play because before it was just the Sejuani's ahead, but now if you have an accelerated Ziggs as well and you have a backline threat to support your really strong tank diving in, that's huge. And they also are just going to get the Herald down. They're going to get map pressure off this mid tower. This is a really good exchange for TDE.
All right, forced burn that ulti to get away, and Satchel Charge was burned there, so I don't know if this turret's in quite as much risk as it could be. We know that Ziggs can kill turrets so fast, though, with that passive. Down goes turret number 2. That Rift Herald getting its value right now. Are they going to get a third charge? No, it doesn't look like it.
No third charge, but still 2 towers and the fight win and 2 dragons to 0. This is an even more clear-cut TDE advantage at this point in the game than last game. Last game they'd already devolved into madness at this point and begun their fighting spree that would eventually, you know, get the game out of their hands. But this game they're playing much calmer, much more collected, and it's really working out for them. They're taking these laning leads and they're turning them into objectives.
Yeah, and it's good to see that type of adaptation. Now, SLR hasn't been able to take their team fights. The top lane matchup hasn't been working. This Jarvan and this Volibear are really going to fall out of contention. They're going to start to really rely on the damage that's going to come out from Luru, but he is not at the stage of items that he really needs to combat the tankiness on the side of TD right now. Luru is going to find this catch on a Bob Joseph, who I think is just dead. You can't do this into Twitch, and Bob Joseph's going to pay for it with his life. Now, Fang over Fang, a little bit far forward, but there's going to be no pick in return.
Yeah, and again, it's just the awareness of that you have to have of, is Twitch on the map or have we not seen him? Because most characters can't do that. Usually an AD carry, you're not worried about them going on you like that, but Twitch is unique, and especially with the Yuumi, when it's just a 2v1 out of nowhere, it can be really rough.
Yeah, it's very difficult, and it's going to be on Luru to continue to pull those types of plays. Now, first game of the season, I played into this. Right? I played into a Yuumi and a Twitch that go very far ahead, and it's very frustrating to deal with. And it's very challenging, so it's going to be important to see if TDE can react to this properly, if they can get their vision control down during those windows, try to stay as grouped up as they can for objectives, make sure that there's no chance for Twitch to take over this game, because he can do that. He can make it so hard to walk out of your own base, and if they start to drop those turrets a bit too far in, it starts to get so hard to play, so it has to be side lane pressure if they can get away with it for SLR.
Anti just flash top lane. He's terrified of Sejuani. I thought he would just ult the wall.
uh, spooky woman on board. I don't know what to say. Like Jaffe has been terrifying so far in that top lane.
Yeah, but surprising to see him just respect it that heavily. Maybe he was worried about just ult followed by a Q follow up over the wall, but yeah, I'm really shocked by that. But still, we have a dragon in a minute. This is soul point for TDE if they get it, so they're really looking for it. It's
Look at the pings.
ooh,
Look
they're
at the
gonna try to trade
pings.
Baron.
Yes, and they can get away with this right now. There's no way to follow this Twitch, who is stuck over the wall right now. Didn't realize that there was no blast cone. It's going to be the ult over from Anti. Pure Llama yet to be on vision, and now they're going to see
Now they see.
Luru, but is there going to be any time to rotate right now? Ultravox is the only one on the map. There's the TP coming in, so they're going to have to time this with Zen Zen and with Ultravox. The two ultis need to connect. There's the one ulti coming through. The second ulti! It takes it! Ultravox!
No,
Oh,
it just
gets
took
the
Jarvan.
kill. Oh
Just
my
Jarvan.
goodness, I thought it was huge there. But now Ultravox is in the pit right now. Anti doesn't have that flash or that ult available. Luru hanging on the side. Can Bob Joseph find the hookup? Yes, he does. There's the pick. They see Luru as well as trying to kite away. Has to burn the flash and the cleanse to get away, but he can't. Leaves, will pick up that kill. Tef will go down. I thought it was a Baron steal, but it's simply an ace. Not quite for TDE, but they're going to pick up 4. They're going to pick up that mid inhib turret, and things are going to get to go from bad to worse for SLR.
Yeah, there's still one Baron on Pure Llama on this Anivia, but overall a desperation play from SLR, and I respect it because it did work, but they do all die for it, and I don't know. Fang over Fang maybe could have smited for the HP, but then maybe the Jinx ult steals the Baron, so yeah, kind of a rough spot for him being low after tanking Baron and then seeing the Jinx ult fly in at him, but yeah, they should be Dragon. I don't know, actually. All of SLR's back up. We might have another fight over this Dragon because TDE hasn't reset after that fight win. So they don't actually have the money that they earned. This is playable, but no, they're going to give it.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. Obviously, it's soul point right now. They don't have to pressure it. Obviously, it's going to be a tool that TDE can use in about 5 minutes just to pull SLR around. Now, they have seen Bob Joseph. Fang over Fang's just going to protect that vision. They really need their jungle vision right now to make sure that they don't get caught out by Leaves, by Jaffe, by Bob Joseph, just roaming around in that jungle. I think that it was a little bit of a miscommunication of what to do after the Baron that caught SLR right there, because I think if they just all know that they need to leave, they can probably get out with a little bit more, with presumably Tef and Luru have the opportunity to get out of there alive. And just trying to force that fight back the other way is really what's going to put TDE really with one hand on this victory in game 2.
I actually think they were trying to leave. They just didn't realize that the Tribush top lane was warded, so Bob Joseph was able to cancel the recall that would have gotten Twitch and Yuumi to safety. I think that was actually the big one. I think they just needed to take a slightly less greedy recall, but it's so tempting to just find the first bush and take the 4-second recall. So I get it.
Yeah. It's it's tempting. I think that I think it was just it's one of those. It's a rush decision.
Hindsight is 2020, and of course,
exactly.
if you give them that play again, they would just walk to a much further away bush, to which invisible, and call it a day. But didn't happen. They get punished even more heavily than they were already going to be, and now it is soul point for TDE on this Cloud Rift.
Jaffe is really zoned away from the rest of his team right now. Has that Q available. Is going to just dash out. Now Bob Joseph right next to Twitch. Doesn't know he's there, but is going to find that flag. Gets the cage down. So Bob Joseph's going to fall. Look at the wall from Pure Llama to make that a 1-for-0. But right now, TDE is probably happy with that. They're going to force with 4 into the base right now. There's a really good TP ward available for Anti in the middle of mid lane. And I imagine he's going to take that relatively soon. This inhib's going to go down. It looks like they're just going to press backwards. And no, they're just going to let Anti pressure that top lane.
So that inhibitor will respawn in 4 minutes, but Dragon spawns in 3. So that will be down for Dragon, which means TDE will have run of the map for the entire time between now and Soul. And that's a big deal. I wonder if SLR is just going to give Soul. Cloud Soul is actually really good if you're trying to disengage from these melee bruisers in this Twitch, but sometimes it doesn't feel as bad. It's like, oh, we still have the same combat stats if we just stand there and fight each other. Movement speed is easy to underrate like that. So I wonder if they'll decide, you know what, it's only Cloud Soul we can give it.
Zen not respecting the Twitch Yuumi once again. He can't get it with the Satchel Charge, and that's a shutdown to Luru. And that's exactly what this Twitch needs to be doing.
And the big deal here, even if they lose the game, is that this Twitch counterpick to Jinx seems like a worthwhile answer. And that means that TDE has to think about how to deal with this Jinx going forward, because Luru has an answer. This Twitch is working. The top half of the map didn't go SLR's way, so it might not be enough to win the game, but if you're really worried about this Jinx, you might have to start banning it. Or maybe they just think that Jinx is good right now and they both have a different meta read than we do, but we think that this Jinx is sort of out of nowhere and they're both starting to prioritize it so heavily.
Yeah. You know, like, me personally, right, as a Moonman connoisseur, I'm always surprised to not see Aphelios in situations like this.
Okay, have you seen Aphelios' win rate in lollytics.com?
I have seen Aphelios' win rate, and you know what I've also done is I've played Aphelios in solo queue, and it's the worst thing ever. Genuinely is. It's so bad. But that champion does get prioritization in organized play because it is much better when you can have your team play around this enormous cannon of damage that champion is. And he's not as self-sufficient as other ADCs, but if you put the time in, he does what Jinx wants to do, especially in this meta, but just better. And I think the lack of that pick, and I know you don't agree with me on that, but I think the lack of that pick is going to really affect these two teams because Jinx is the champion that does, she's really the only champion that does that late game scaling, that explosive damage we know her for, that is available for these two teams. Hook right there onto Pure Llama. They're going to try and find this as a pick. There's the flash burned out. Jaffe's around the side. Really aggressive play right there to find a way in onto the Twitch. He's taken so low. Are they able to take him down? No. It's just the kill onto Pure Llama so far. Now the Twitch is on the bot side. I got a little bit lost there, but it looks like 3 kills for 1, and it is a trade onto Leaves right before both objectives are going to spawn, but it's just going to be the play onto the top side.
Yeah, understandable that you thought it was Twitch because the Yuumi was on the Anivia that time instead.
Yeah, who else?
Not sure actually why Twitch wasn't there, but yeah, face checking a very dark and scary jungle, and with Ziggs, I think
they found a way in onto Ultravox. Ultravox is going to try and kite away from this Volibear right now. Look at Luru getting away from Jaffe, but like you said, this assassination available from the Sejuani, but I don't think it's going to come through. The Luru, he's just kiting so well. He's staying alive for so long. Finally, Jaffe picks up that kill. Zen is still alive. Their tower killing, that is this Ziggs, is still here. And does he have the mana to get away with this right now as 2 people have respawned? Zenzen really doesn't have anywhere good to go. He's going to go straight into the waiting arms of Jarvan. He's not aware of the timers. SLR pulls it back.
Yeah, that was a little bit of indecisiveness by TDE after the one fight. Some people wanted to go for Dragon, some people wanted to go for top tower, some people wanted to go for end. I think if they do any of those immediately, as a full team, they get whatever they want. But because it took them a few extra seconds to get where they wanted to be, they're not quite able to get there with the waves, and they're able to be fended off. And that might be a counter Baron here for SLR.
So Luru's off the map right now. There's the TP coming in right now from Jaffe. I don't know if they like this play, but I think what they're aiming to do here is just try and burn as many cooldowns as possible and then get this Jarvan out just like that. And they know that TD doesn't want to take this right now. They're missing Zenzen. There's 5 on the map right now for SLR. And so they're going to try and manipulate that, but Fang over Fang staying on this top side. So I feel like SLR is looking to see if they start Dragon and instantly try and answer with this Baron on the top side, and they're in position to do that right now. They've seen Jaffe. I think they're going to try and start this up right away. They are.
They are, and the play here has to be that you send everyone except for Leaves to go contest this Baron, but they're too slow. It's going to be, they're going to trade the Baron.
Yeah, it's taken down to half HP right now. There are the double globals available for these two. They haven't thrown them just yet. It's down to 1,000 HP. They're going to give it up. There's the Super Mega Death Rocket. Bob Joseph's in the middle of 2 right now. There's the kill. Definitely going to roll through onto Anti, but a 1 for... Ooh, hold on. 1 for 0 plus Baron is definitely going to be worthwhile right now. Jaffe's looking for a way in onto Pure Llama. There is the wall. Leaves finds a way over, though. Fang over Fang at a lot of risk right now, and it looks like that's going to be 2 more kills going over uncontested. Hold on, Leaves is taken so low, he gets blown up. Pure Llama's still alive on the side. Fang over Fang's trying to kite this one away, and you know what? Ultravox is alone in the mid lane, so I think that's going to be 2 kills picked up here, but I think the 80 carry, no. I was worried that Luru was going to be able to sneak his way in, the little rat. But no, it's going to be uncontested. 3 kills picked up there. Leaves the only one to fall.
Yeah, finally some presence of mind around the Twitch, although the Baron buff also can give him away sometimes. I don't know if that did that case or not. But this should be game with the Ziggs. Ziggs does so much damage to these towers, and they have the soul, but I don't want to call it too soon because they are respawns coming through.
Anti is up. There's the availability for the passive on Jinx right now, as it looks like Jaffe's getting a little bit caught up. Who needs a lantern? Looks like they're going to just play for these 2 inhibitors right now. Try and play this as safe as possible. And you know, when your composition scales the way that TDE's does, I don't think I'm too worried about that from them. It looks like they're just trying to play this carefully, but we've seen SLR turn this.
We have, but this is a soul Baron's off the map. It's only on Twitch Yumi, and it's not going to last for that much longer. I think TDE is... I don't know if that's... maybe they can end there, but I don't think this is a terrible call. One thing I do want to point out, though, is that Twitch is almost on the infinity edge. And I know we're saying that, Jinx scales well, and Jinx scales pretty well, but one of the big things about Jinx is her 3-item spike is so good with the steroids and the ability to just reset off of the infinity edge spike. But... And then the full build is also really good because you have such long range. But there's sort of an intermediate point where you're generically strong, but maybe not a god. And I feel like the 4-item spike for Twitch is going to take advantage of that a little bit with the Bork delaying the full crit a little bit. But getting the Infinity Edge and then having that be able to pass through 5 people could be a way back in for SLR, because this 8-3 Twitch is nothing to scoff at.
Look how much they're respecting the Thresh now. That would have been a pick before. They wanted to go for that previously, but they know there's such a huge wave here. They know that they have their side waves. This can just be patience from TDE. They know they don't have to play aggressive here, but they want to get these turrets down. They want to force this end. They want to keep this momentum going as best they can. But you know what? With those super minions pushing, this is so hard for SLR to deal with.
Yeah. Super minions are rough, but you can just stand here forever. I mean, there's no timer on you, and eventually your supers will push in the other lanes. So you can stay here for literally forever, and this is SLR's problem now.
Yeah, and what do they do about it, really? Like, Luru can't go off and clear those waves. Anti, without a front line here, it's going to make it so hard. Pure Llama is really what decides how much team fight TDE gets to take. And they have to play for poke, but they're playing into the Jinx this time. They're playing into Ziggs. And these waves are going to continue to disappear. Fang over Fang finds an option, though. Finds 2 in the Cataclysm. Does get knocked down into the... Has to go golden, but Ultravox has died. There's the kill as well onto Jappy. They're kiting away. Leaves has to get out of there as well. Zenzin's going to try and trade back a kill onto Fang over Fang, but they find a 2 for 0 off of such a desperation play from Fang over Fang, but they lose their Nexus turret in the process.
Yeah, no more Nexus towers. And that's why they had to go there, because if they don't go there, they have to sack the bottom inhib as they go clear up their other waves. And Nivea has really good wave clear, but will get dove if 2 people leave to go clear top and mid. So they force a fight, and great stopwatch from Fang over Fang to buy as much time as possible. They get 2, they lose no one, but they lose more towers. And their base, if they ever are somehow in a situation where Ziggs can teleport there or walk there while they're trying to contest another objective, will just disappear.
Yeah, it's what at this point in the game, if you get a Sork potion on that, it's 3 autos. Honestly, like
yeah, it's wild how fast Ziggs will take these away. So definitely makes this upcoming Baron and Elder, which both spawn in 1:40 or so, really hard to contest if you also have to worry about your base. At least there's no teleport board that I can see super close, but you still gotta watch just pushing a side wave while everyone else 4v4s.
Is there a play there for Bob Joseph? Lure has to cancel the recall. There's the flash forward. They find a pick potentially right now onto Fang over Fang. He's going to try and flank and drag out, but he does go down. The ultimate lands onto Tef. He's been separated from the ADC, and Tef is forced to hop onto Anti. Might be able to get away from this right now. There's no tank strip just yet from Ultravox. There's the kill that finally goes through onto that Yuumi, but look at Luru over the wall, shredding through the health bars. Zenzen tries to get in there, play aggressive. Luru running out of that ulti timer, but Ultravox is going to trade back. Leaves barely alive right now. How does SLR keep doing this? They are at the death's door, but they turn it again.
They turn it again, and it's just this Twitch. They can't get to it, and it is putting out so much damage. Not going to be an Infinity Edge here from the Twitch. I think that's mathematically a small mistake, but it won't change the way Twitch plays the game. But could delay the spike, and that's really important with all these 2 major objectives coming up in 30 seconds. Yeah, you don't want to be trading evenly as TDE because you want to be trying to have an advantage. But, I mean, look at the gold. The gold is only 3k different now. The soul is a huge part of the power of TDE. And it's hard to utilize that when you've already rotated around taking all the objectives. So, I don't know. I think this is going to be the breaking point, though. SLR has to now leave their base. They can't just turtle up and wait for TDE to oversend into them. And they have to make some hard decisions.
Yeah, and they have to be looking for a play right now. They know that Ultravox can't be here. SLR does have access to their... Oh, these hooks start to get really scary from Bob Joseph. They do have Twitch on site. Anti is in that top lane right now, and I love this. I love this from TDE. They have escaped the vision, and look at this. Fang over Fang is going to see no one on the dragon, and the recalls have to start instantly. They know that they cannot leave this base unanswered for any modicum of time, and are they just going to take this in-hit for free? No, they want to try and force the end. The recalls have not all come through just yet. Jaffe's onto the Nexus right now. There's the hook coming through onto Pure Llama. He's going to go into the Zhonya's. Ultravox gets trapped in the Cataclysm right now. They haven't been able to pick up the kill, and somehow Zen Zen is able to stay alive. Luru has fallen. Surely that will be the last stand for SLR, but no! Anti can kill the Sigs! Jaffe is falling in the base, and just like that, SLR turns it for the 4th time in a row, and they're still in this game at 35 minutes. I do not know how.
I don't know how they're in this game either. That was wild. They even lost Luru. He got dogpiled on by everyone, but the Anivia damage was just enough to, you know, once they got clumped up, taking out Luru to take them all down, and Anti and Fang over Fang able to run them down and clean up. And this is major objectives. I mean, they get Elder off of this, and then they should have Twitch back up to go all run to Baron with Elder Dragon.
Oh yeah.
This is suddenly really scary for TDE.
It's
Did they get a ward though? Did they have a TP ward? Nope, no TP ward that I see.
There's no ward available, and
It's such unfortunate. If there is a single blue ward from TDE that finds those recalls, they have the option to turn around, go to Elder. They all just recalled. They only have 2 people that can answer. Looks like they're going to try and make their play at this Elder Dragon right now. It's 7k HP, but Luru is here.
Anti is not here. Anti's still coming from top.
There's no smite available just yet. The hook comes through on a Fang over Fang. Might be able to take away the smite from SLR as Fang over Fang is going to fall. There's the TP coming through. Luru gets CC'd out, but this is an opportunity for TDE to take the Elder Dragon. They're going to burst it down. Anti gets hooked out. Here comes the re-engage, and suddenly it went from terrifying to even more terrifying. Through is going to blow up the health bars of TDE, but he gets turned onto. The stopwatch from Ultravox will save the game, and now TDE will finally look at a win. Another 40-minute banger, and this series is going to at least 4 as TDE will finally find the Nexus.
Really well played by everyone on TDE this game. They didn't let their early game advantage slip. And that's 2 games in a row that SLR has just not been able to get off the ground properly. And they're able to claw back game 1, not so game 2. They're going to have to take a hard look at draft. Man, this is going to be a great series. I can't wait for game 3.
Wow, I'm blown away. These games refuse to be predictable.
You know, like, I think we can expect TDE to get another lead, but will they be able to hold it? Will they be, like, nothing is telling so far other than this is going to be a fantastic series, like you said. I hope all of you are going to stick around. I'm glad to see how many of you showed up. Please do not go anywhere. We've got at least 2 more games of this to go.